So good morning. I'm Abbo, partnership chamber at the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors, and we wanted to meet our visitor center partners before.
Might want to remind people you're going in and out, Allie.
Okay, let me sit closer. And
You might want to remind people to mute if they're not.
Can other people hear me?
Yes.
In and
Yes.
That might just
Remind people they should mute. If they're not speaking, they should mute so that you don't hear their background.
Exactly.
working on doing that. Let's see, mute. All right. Just see everybody here. Okay. Thank you again for your time this morning. Hopefully you can hear me now. Hi, Ibis. I wanted to gather everybody after speaking with Andrew and of course the teams. We had been doing an initial survey to see how things were going when people were going to be potentially reopening, and thank you for pretty much everyone responding fairly quickly and letting us know what your plan was or you still weren't sure. So thanks for getting back to us on that. It's important information that we are sharing with our visitors as we do see them start to return to the beaches and to the hotels and to the restaurants and hopefully soon to the spas and all those great places. So we do have a specific agenda item, which is going to be how we can work more closely with those of you that may be able to help us with some of our visitor research. Funding will be tighter than ever for us, so we do want to make sure that we continue all of the important work that the research surveys provide to us and insights into what people are doing and how they feel about our destination. And we also want to make sure that we know any challenges you're facing so that we can try and address them as a group and see how we may be able to help in any way. So with that said, I'd like to just go around quickly, get maybe a quick 1 to 2 minute update. If you're open, I'm interested to know if people are expressing any hesitation in picking things up. Are you still distributing paper items? And that's pretty much the two things I'm interested in hearing right now. And we do.
I'll go first.
Sure, just 1 second, Bernard. Tomorrow we do have a networker with our HCP media partners, which have a new resource that is a digital version of our vacation planner, which we've always had, but they can customize it for your visitor center location with like introductory pages and kind of make it more of like a localized flipping book for you at no additional cost. So those are some things that if you're available tomorrow, 10 to 11 for that on a bigger call. But this will just be our visitor centers today. Bernard, if you want to go first and also ask your question, that would be great.
Okay, good. No, I was raising my hand to say I will go first, break the ice.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bernard Jennings. I'm the president and CEO of the Biscayne Gardens Chamber of Commerce. We're located in North Dade, right in the middle of the Golden Glades interchange between North Miami Beach, North Miami, and Miami Gardens. A little small neighborhood, 34,000 residents. So thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. We started opening sparingly about a week ago, like 1 or 2 days, and then yesterday we opened, and today we're open. We've trying to invite people back. The whole gist of our chamber is to bring people together for events and multiple events within our center. We have a big 4,000 square foot center, as you know, and this has been a disaster. Our whole model is based upon coming together, and this has all been about bringing it apart. But we've taken advantage of the webinar situation to do certain things and provide information out. But going forward, staff is coming back. My volunteer staff is coming back slowly but surely. And we got some plans to, be back in full force, utilizing the lemons that we now have into lemonades. We're going to be doing a webinar type of show where it will be like a Facebook Live and an Instagram Live video program at the same time to talk about what the chamber is doing. We've invited some other people to be guest speakers to do a women's series to talk about different issues from the chamber. We have a room in the chamber that will be like a living room setting, like The View, but it'll be ladies speaking from the chamber. So these things have brought tragedy, but at the same time we can learn from them and make them into something that they weren't meant to before. So that's what we're doing.
As our newest visitor center.
Yes.
Bernard, I'm going to mute you. There you go. Okay.
Hi, did you say my name? Sorry, I couldn't hear. Yes, okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Ina Rodriguez from the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, and we have our Visit Miami Beach Visitor Center. So the Miami Beach Chamber has been working every day. We didn't stop at all, but we did close the physical office of the chamber as well as the physical office of the visitor center. We have been doing webinars remotely, a lot of meetings. We've actually had more meetings now than ever before because we don't need staff to run around to different locations. Now you can do 3 or 4 meetings back to back virtually. So we've been doing that. So thank goodness we're doing that. Obviously, the funding coming in is what's lacking. We don't have the membership dollars there. People are not paying their memberships, which is very understandable. I mean, their businesses are suffering. And so, so that's a challenge for us. As I said, the offices are not yet open. We do not know yet when we're going to open. We keep hearing this spike in, which I think we all anticipated, and people catching the virus. So we're not sure when we're going to physically open. So right now we're just trying to do as much remotely as possible. And I guess we'll see what happens, and we'll see how soon we can physically open offices.
So just to be clear, I understand the chamber office is closed, but also the visitor center?
Yes, everything has been closed.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ina. Appreciate all the hard work you guys are doing. Cheryl, you're up next.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Before I forget, Bernard, I wanted to ask you, are you still doing those creating packages or things for the homeless? You were doing that last time. If you're doing that, I have some stuff to give you, and I need to figure out how to do that. So we can talk offline. But
Okay, beautiful. we did it already, and we're going to do it again.
Okay,
so,
cool.
No problem. Good,
Cool.
Thank you.
So I have the Downtown Miami Welcome Center at the Miami Center for Architecture and Design. We're not officially open, but the DDA has an outreach desk here now. So from 10 to 1, generally there's someone here from the DDA to help businesses with reopening downtown. People that have questions, the door is locked, they ring the bell. We let them in one at a time. We're struggling with thinking about when to open, but most of the visitors for downtown that come by are cruise passengers. So, that's not happening. So we haven't really seen anybody. We have a sign on the door, ring the bell if you want to come in. We haven't really seen traffic. It's not like the beach or, other places where tourists are going to start coming back sooner, I think, than ours. But in terms of all the different events and things that we have, we've totally, like everybody else, gone online. We still have a really great exhibition that opened 5 days before the lockdown. And I'm happy to announce that we were lucky to get pro bono, someone come in and do a 3D scan of the exhibition, and it's now on our website. So you can walk through the exhibition. It's so cool. And we're starting to promote that. So people can at least see that. And we actually did an Instagram live tour with the curator from Panama on at the same time. And we did that on the DDA's feed. We had over 400 people that logged into that. So that was kind of cool. And we're trying to do as much of that kind of outreach as we can. And, we'll kind of just play it by ear, I think, in terms of really opening to the public like everybody else, seeing how things are going. Downtown is still kind of, dead. A lot of offices are not, are still working remotely or working in shifts. Some of the restaurants are starting to open. So we'll see how, things are going before we, open.
Great, thanks, Cheryl. Also, we heard just earlier this week, or whatever, recently, that the Skyview attraction is set to open July 1st at Bayside, which I see some rolling of eyes, so it's probably mixed feelings, but that may be an attraction that could help drive some traffic
That's true.
to the area interim, or at least some local folks to get out and explore, which is, one of our target audiences, is getting our locals to get out and explore more. And just as a reminder for all of you, and I know, Cheryl, you've submitted some of your events that are virtual, we continue to feature virtual events on our Virtual Miami section of our website. And if there's anything that you would like us to share, either in our newsletters or if it's farther out, we can put it up on the website. Please feel free to send that to me at any point. I send a newsletter out every single month. The next one goes out July 1st. So definitely share updates with us, or if you're looking to add some volunteer staff, I have a job openings or needed positions section that we can help with. People right now have extra time on their hands and they may be willing to help more than they had in the past. So keep that in mind, as hopefully we start to reopen. All right, Mr. Manny from Doral. How are things in Doral?
How's it going? Well, like everywhere else, we've kind of had our space has been closed physically. Not getting a ton of requests for information and all that, and also our staff person left, so we don't have a staff person there now anyway. I will say that we met recently with the hotels, and it seems that a lot of our hotels did have some essential personnel that were able to stay there. So we didn't have a complete shutdown, but we're really just now, like everybody else, starting to see the beginning of getting back into doing some marketing and we have been looking forward to getting the word out again, obviously that we're open, but we really can't put out the word until we are open. So, until the hotels are really there. We have 29 hotels now in Doral, and about another 2 or 3 that are expected to open in the next couple of years. So we have a growing amount of hotels, but people come here to do business and to shop. So, that's been tricky for the last few months. When we do reopen, physically, the space, the space is actually available, is actually open now, but we don't have a staff person there. And what it is, there's also some offices right there in the same location. So we have someone there and staff from the city, but not a person particularly dedicated to tourism. Right now, all that is kind of coming to me, and we're really starting to see it roll out. One thing I did kind of want to let everybody know is that the way that we did staff it, and that we intend to staff it again, is through a AARP program that AARP provides a staff person. They pay for, I think, 20 hours, up to 20 hours a week, I believe it is, 18 or 20 hours a week. And we got great, very qualified people that applied months back when we did it, and had a great person in there that we got through AARP. Didn't cost us a dime, and it's not a volunteer either. I mean, they're getting paid. So I think that's a good program, and I spoke to them a couple of weeks ago. They were also still not quite back in the swing of things, but they expected to be getting into the swing of things right around now. I'm going to reach back out and see about that. But it might be a resource that, any visitor center can use. There may very well be people who are 55 and older that are ready to work and have great skills. And, honestly, the people we got were great. And the person that we wound up hiring was great. But I'd be happy to provide the information about the program. But through AARP, that's 18. If you get 2 people, you're covering most of the 40 hours. And all you really have to do is, you monitor them, oversee them, and kind of fill out every 2 weeks, fill out the sheet for their hours and all that good stuff. So definitely a program that's worth looking into to get some staff, see. Oh, sorry, they never sent anyone? Yeah, they probably are out of commission. We're out of commission from.
After we actually did a big presentation to all the visitor centers, and we were very excited about it. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, the program's on pause. But it's great to hear that they're getting things back into place. As what a great resource it was. That person, Maria, that you had hired was a fireball. She was off top of it.
She was great.
Help, and that's what you need, someone who cares. And I think that maybe giving them another chance, we'd love to keep in touch with them. Is that still the same contact over there?
It is.
Okay.
It is the same contact, yeah.
On behalf of everybody, and just make sure that she keeps in touch as they get back into commission. But that's
so we're hoping for that,
Yeah. Thank you, Manny.
Sure.
Brian from TIVA down in South Dade, Tropical Everglades Visitor Association, sent a note on the chat. His mic is not working, or doesn't. Either way, he says they're opening there next Tuesday through Saturday. Less hours to start. Also concerned about membership income. Yes, we all are. Put in safety measures. That's good. And some volunteers will come back. So that's a good update. Thank you, Brian. And last but certainly not least, our friends in Sunny Isles, beautiful Sunny Isles Beach. Fernando and Ibis, do you both want to go ahead and, someone's waiting in the waiting room. Not sure who it is. Welcome. Who is joining us?
Hi, it's Chris from Dade Heritage Trust.
Oh, hi, Chris. Welcome, welcome. Well, we're just doing updates. We're almost done, so you'll be next. We're just.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
For everyone, if they're open, what they're seeing, if anything, and if they are open, if people are actually taking the now. So hold on for just a second. All right. Sorry, Ibis.
She might be on mute, and maybe that's why. Fernanda?
Wait, you're both on. You're both.
Oh, okay, good. Go ahead, Fernanda. She's the boss.
Fernanda, we can't see your beautiful.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. I'm sorry. Good morning. Well, our visitor center is closed. It has been closed since this started back in March. I don't have a date when we are going to be open. I have asked, but they don't have an answer yet. I don't know when they are going to open. Hopefully it will be soon, because the hotels have started to open now in Sunny Isles Beach, and we haven't had any obviously visitors because this is a small community and everything was with the hotels closed, and most of the business were closed until like a month ago. There were no visitors. We will see now everything is back open, but our government center, the main entrance, is not open yet because we are doing a screening to all the people, all the patrons that they come through, that they come to the building, either to the building department or whoever comes in has to be screened every day. This goes along all day long. So the main entrance has been closed, and we have a back entrance where everybody comes in now. Until they open the main entrance, I don't think we are going to have any visitors, because as we have discussed before, our visitor center is inside the building, and it's not always very visible to our tourists and our everybody. So I really don't know. We don't have any updates. We hope we can get back running soon, so we can do things, so we can start receiving more tourists in our area. But through IBIS page, we have been starting to receive questions for hotels, even for a convention or something next year. So hopefully we are going to get running soon.
Also, I'm sorry, Fernando, I didn't mean to interrupt you. The other thing that we have going on, and then we'll finish with Sunny Isles Beach. We just did a welcome back video with all of our hotels, and it's going to be uploaded probably in the next few days. It's a YouTube. So please feel free. I'll send you a copy, Allie, and maybe you can share it with everybody, just so everybody knows that us as a destination, we're open.
Yeah, we'll share that on social too, for sure. Any of you that have anything about your specific part of town, please send it to us. We're happy to retweet, repurpose, repost.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ibis and Fernandez, so much for joining us and for the update. All right, Chris, you want to go ahead and give an update? I just unmuted you.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. We are not open, and I can tell you that we're here working every day because the visitor center serves as our office, but there's only one employee per day coming in. We're still pretty COVID paranoid here, I have to tell you. I think it's a lot of individual, opinions and comfort level, but overall, we as a staff and our board has determined that staying closed is the responsible thing to do right now. I can tell you that tentatively we'd love to open mid-July, but I think we're waiting to see exactly what transpires in Miami-Dade County. The foot traffic on Brickell, it's not heavy. It's definitely on an uptick from, maybe 3 weeks ago. But just in getting out and walking around, I take the train or my bike to work, and I would say the majority of people that are on the street here are residents. So we haven't had anyone knock on our door looking for information in spite of our signage. So we believe we're doing the right thing by staying closed probably for another month. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Chris. I tend to agree with that perspective. All right, well, thank you again for coming together. The initial purpose we were going to get together was not just for updates, but also to shine a light on the great work that Andrew Robensmith does with his massive team of 1.5 people in his team. But he heads up all the research efforts, and we have a lot of great new tools, which have really been showing some of the trends, which I think are somewhat positive. So I'll let him go ahead and take it from here. Andrew, thanks for getting us together, and hopefully we can create some new solutions and partnerships that'll help also with us doing our surveys.
Okay. Well, thanks for the updates. Just like Ali said, I am a team of about 1.5. I have one person that works with me. He's part-timer, but it's a very large responsibility in terms of the amount of information that we collect and getting that out to our stakeholders. There's a lot of work that goes on. I think behind the scenes, as Ali knows, as many of you, if not all of you know, we have a yearly profile study. We publish the results. It's on our website every year. It's a very large program that takes a lot of resources, quite honestly. We survey people all over Miami-Dade County. This goes on all the time. Not only are we at events surveying, which we do normally between 20 and 25 a year, but we have a regular visitor profile program, which involves intercepting people at different places all over Miami-Dade County. About half the intercepts we're doing are at the airports, at both MIA and FLL, because a lot of our folks are coming in through FLL, but also on the ground, we're at attractions. We are at some of the visitor centers surveying. Some of you are familiar with some of our folks. We are at shopping areas, anywhere where we think we can fish and catch tourists, talk about, ask them questions about, who they are, where they came from, what are they doing while they're here. This information is so important to so many people, and not just the Bureau. I mean, it's important to the Bureau. In a sense, it's sort of, it is essentially the backbone of the existence of why it is that we're here to begin with, and that is to measure success and to drive heads in beds, as many of you hear us talking about all the time. But it's also also vitally important for other stakeholders, whether they're in government, academia, who rely upon our information for their own existence. So again, it's a very large program. We surveyed, just to give you an idea of the breadth of this program, last year we surveyed about 15,000 people. Most of them were done in person. A team member going up to somebody in one of these locations and asking them some questions. The survey is programmed on an iPad in 7 languages. So, you know, we're out there in force trying to gather information from folks all over the area. So, as Ali had mentioned, we are under fire in a sense, under some new constraints in terms of how we conduct our program. Again, it's a very labor-intensive program and involves just, you know, a lot of it really is just getting out there and talking to people. But, you know, now that we are challenged with really essentially 2 different challenges, the way I look at it. One is from a budgetary standpoint, in that it is an expensive program, and a lot of it does just require things like data collection. So, you know, in looking at these costs, I have to revisit to see, you know, are there other resources out there that we could be using in addition to what we're already using to help with this program, to get enough people to talk to so that we can get a good sampling of people across the county. That's one big constraint. You know, the other constraint is that we're coming up against is that for many of us, it's a new ball game. And talking to people in person is not necessarily what people want anymore. So we are very sensitive to that and realizing that this is going to potentially have a huge impact, and it certainly would if we continue our operations the way that we have been doing this for 20 years. 20 years this program has essentially been in place. So in talking to my research team, because we do have a research vendor who we work with closely, and talking with them and trying to come up with solutions, we have talked about potentially using visitor centers as one of those areas to collect some information about our visitors. I think this is really the time to talk about how not just, you know, we know that on the negative side we're under constraints, but the positive side is that we are looking to redesign and do things differently. And in that process, I think we can do things better. And, you know, in talking about expanding the pie, right? Because a lot of you folks are already collecting information in your locations, and a lot of that information is the same information that we're already collecting. So there are a lot of efforts out there that maybe are duplicated, maybe things we've been doing for years that some of you folks are also doing. So we look at this as a potential opportunity to work with more visitor centers more closely. I've spoken with several of you on this call who are some of you folks very recently last week to talk about some ideas and some potential ways in which we could be working with you to collect information. And so having this opportunity to talk with all of you to let you know about one of these important programs that we do, and see and explore the opportunity to potentially do some form of data collection at your centers. And when I say some form of collection, you know, we are looking at a number of different options. You know, we have interviewers that go out and talk to people via iPad, but we realize that people don't want to necessarily talk to us. So there could be, you know, in a sense of a survey that people could take. They could take it on their phones because we would give them a QR code and they could scan in. We could still give people a tablet that's cleaned where they could be taking and answering some questions. There are a few ways in which we think we're looking at to say what are the best ways in which we can do this. But some of you folks are already collecting things like, you know, origin of traveler. How many people are you with? How did you get to, you know, Miami? How are you getting around Miami? You know, we have a number of different versions of surveys. Some we call the long survey, which collects a lot of information. We have a short survey that just collects some very pointed questions. Who are you? Where'd you come from? How'd you get here? And so collecting this information is stuff that you're already doing, a lot of you, we're doing. And we think that when I say expanding the pie, is that in working with your centers and being able to find a way in which we collect some of this data, we can also help you by supplying this information to you consistently in a format that you can use with the same information that we're collecting that, you know, you can obviously do. It's an efficiency for some of you who have to devote staff and time to do this, where we will set up the format data collection. And then you would just simply, you know, if you have people coming into your centers, if you could kindly direct them to either take a survey via, you know, whether it's on an iPad that we could put at your location, or via QR code where they could scan in and just fill out a few questions on their cell phone or mobile device. So that's the gist of it. Right now, we're looking to potentially relaunch this program next month. In doing so, we may only launch online next month. You know, we actually, when it comes to looking at these different segments of our visitors, we have an online survey that goes strictly to Florida residents because they are a group of people that kind of slide through the cracks. We're not able to intercept them a lot of times because they're all driving here. So we're at the airports and missing a lot of them. But we know that, and this is an area which I've just wanted to explore. When I speak with you folks at some of your centers, I visited several of your centers, I'm always impressed and in that I'm learning something about your area that I think about our program. And I think, you know, I wish we could be collecting more information in this location, whether it's in Miami Beach. I was there not too long ago and I learned that the French people are coming. France is coming, a big market that's growing, you know, is coming to that center. When I talked to Brian down at Tiva, I learned about the Germans who are doing the triangle, right, Brian? So looking from a visitor perspective and research, I'm just thinking, my gosh, we're missing out. There's a lot of opportunity there. So I just want to, you know, pause in a second there for that this is what we're looking to do. I would like to, you know, put that out there to you. If you have questions, ideas, maybe whether we can talk in this meeting or talk offline, whatever works best for you. This is the direction we're trying to move with some of this research. So I'll just pause there. So I guess, Allie, if people would like to.
Ready to go.
Go ahead.
No, I like the idea of the QR code. I also was wondering what thoughts might be of incentives for doing it. You know, is there a way to customize a QR code per location that could then have a little link that could be provided by the center that offers some sort of discount, you know, link or something like that. I know a lot of the centers already have localized offers that they promote to their traffic visitors that come through. So maybe that's something we could help with in terms of customizing a QR landing page. You know, once you scan and take the survey, it could then give them something. I don't know. Are people likely to just take it on their own? Would be a thought.
Believe it or not, the vast majority of people we survey, we don't give an incentive to. Yeah. and you know, that may sound surprising in that we're out there. People aren't necessarily, it all really comes down to the approach, quite honestly. You talk to somebody, you say, excuse me, could you help me answer a couple of questions? You know, whatever it is that approach is, make somebody feel comfortable enough just to answer a couple of questions. Excuse me, could you help me with a couple of things here? Whatever that is. But we are looking at, whether our folks at the visitor centers could provide incentive. That certainly doesn't hurt, and it can help and certainly increase participation. We're also looking at potentially providing a little incentive as well. You know, one of the things that I have right now that we might want to use are hand sanitizer. We have branded Miami hand sanitizer. Of course we do, right? So hand sanitizer is something that everybody wants to get their hands on, quite literally. And so potentially good incentive to get people to take the survey.
Any thoughts on that? Go ahead, Fernanda.
Yes, while Andrew was talking, I thought of what you said before. I was thinking of that like, if I speak for myself, I would do a survey either because the service was great on something or because I had a very bad negative experience. But I've talked to other the survey people that they used to come here, and they told me that usually they get this because before the survey used to be so long, they wouldn't get too many people to do it. And I understand too that not too many visitors came into our visitor center also. But they used to speak for other places that they used to visit and survey people. But I think if you give an incentive to people, they will take a survey of, if we send a link to the visitors when they are here, they will be, I think it's like an incentive. They will be able to do it. They will do it. because they will get something in return. Or maybe we as visitor center, each community can do like get together with the restaurant industry that they have in their town, and maybe, oh, you do it, you get a 20% discount in this restaurant or in any shop or restaurants. Usually visitors, they go always to restaurants. So I think that is a very good discount, you know.
Yeah, it could even be something that they were going to get anyway, but you just say, well, I'll give it to you when you take the survey. Right.
Yes.
Those are great. That's a great idea. Just to let you, as an idea, because I'm a research person, right now we have a pilot, right? Which is kind of how I look at how we could be approaching your visitor center as a pilot, right? To say, hey, let's try a couple ways in which we could be doing this as a visitor center and see which way is most effective in getting people to do the survey. You know, in some cases you may not really even need to provide incentive. In other cases, maybe that will be the case. As an example, right now we're in, and this is not a visitor center, but we're in LaGuardia Airport. My team of research, you know, our company, a research company, has another project, but they're in the LaGuardia Airport, and they're being very scientific about it, like we would be, and saying what's going to work best. So, you know, they have a QR code in the airport where somebody is standing, saying, well, you know, if you don't feel comfortable near me, just scan this QR code. You know, answer 5 questions. You know, not very invasive, but for other people, you know, who don't mind using a tablet, maybe they do that. It depends. And so, you know, the ideas from my end are that we could try a couple different ways. And, you know, while an incentive may be, it may not be needed, you know, in which case you wouldn't have to go to the trouble of trying to find a way to get them to do it. And, you know, I'm not looking, you know, we don't know what kind of participation we're going to get. So I would go into this with a very, with no expectations other than to see, let's just see how we can do it. But also in that, as I've spoken with many of you, you're already collecting this information. You're already speaking to people who come in, who sign a book, say, you know, and we survey you folks every month, so we know this. You know, a lot of us you tell us how many people are coming through, where they've come from. So this isn't really something new. You know, if you're not providing an incentive for somebody to sign in and give you, you know, 5 points of information, you very likely won't need to do that if they're doing it on their own device. It's you know, really just guiding somebody to do that, you know, a little bit different. So, but certainly, you know, we can look at these different incentives and decide what would work best. Totally open.
Great, thanks, Andrew. I did see that we have a new participant, and I did just want to give our friends over at Key an opportunity to say hello and give a quick update. Our Key Biscayne Chamber and Visitor Center, Tatiana is.
Oh, sorry, we just popped up. We have a budget workshop tomorrow, so you can imagine we're kind of.
I hear you.
Here.
Your time.
So, what I missed, but
just want to get
information.
Yeah, we were just going to get a quick update from you. Everybody's given an update, and then we were talking about additional research opportunities, which we can update you on separately. But I know we'd all like to get an update on what's going on over.
I think, okay, so we were back in the office about 2 weeks ago, and so we have a 24/7 visitor center that we had closed at the time that we were not in the office. So currently we keep the doors locked, and then when someone does come, we open the door, put our masks on, greet them. Haven't been a lot of visitors. It's usually people in Village Hall looking for permitting and those type of things. So it's not very, I've heard that some visitor centers have kept it locked so that people don't touch all the materials in there. So we ended up putting our maps kind of on the outside with a little holder. And then the other thing that we have that's constant is our weekly newspaper for the island. So that's something that people do come for because it's free and they don't have to buy it. But it hasn't been a lot of traffic, but we have had a ton of calls in terms of beach openings, fishing, all the little rules and regulations. Because, for instance, Bill Bags has a capacity of 50%, so that fills up very, very quickly on the weekends. Those are the type of things that we've been dealing with mostly right now. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I was I drove over to Virginia Key Beach just to go see how things were looking and got stuck in the traffic coming back from everyone leaving.
that could have been primarily also with the protesters because they block off I-95.
Happy. Honestly, I didn't mind sitting in the traffic because I was sitting along the beautiful water and just watching all the people who had spent the day enjoying the outdoors.
Yes, it is a great ride, that's for sure.
Just one other update from our end. I know some of our centers have recently reached out, and as you reopen, you may be wondering, when are we going to get some maps already? So we have the new lure maps. I actually finished editing it this morning. We have a skeleton crew working on stuff now, so it's all hands on deck. So I'm an editor and an article writer too, but we've gotten the new lure map. It's a combination of the visitor centers, the attractions, shopping, museums, and all the parks. So it's really comprehensive. We used to have 3 different pieces that are all now combined into this new lure map. It was going to be ready at the end of August. I said, come on, guys, the end of August means summer's over. Let's at least help some people get out and about. So we should have them in the next 2 weeks. As soon as I have them, I'll send a note, and hopefully for those of you that are open, we could go ahead and ship out at least a nice stack or 2 so that you have the newest, greatest list of all the great things to do to share with visitors. It's a nice fold out version and that you can actually see everything, and it's got a map with the legend and really, really helpful, in my opinion, with lots of great stuff. It's amazing all the things we have to offer. So we're really happy about that finally coming out. It's just going to be in English to start because our international markets will be slow to return. So because of also limited budgets, we will expand the lure map into additional languages in the coming months. But for now, we're doing about a 10,000 run in English. So we'll have those to share in the coming weeks, which I'm really excited about because we were supposed to have them in February or January, I think, and now it's just been almost a year later. But that said, Andrew, did you want to have any sort of call to action for those that wanted to maybe just send a follow-up to all the visitor centers who maybe couldn't join us today with with notes, and we can, for those interested in next steps, we can proactively get them moving along?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Let's, certainly send out a note to those who are unable to attend today to let them know what we're trying to do. And for you folks who are on this call, I would say that let's have a separate conversation so we have an opportunity to talk about, what are those opportunities at your location rather than even, doing this right now. Maybe some of you need to think about this and think if you'd like to be a participant. We would love it if you could. We would love it if you could. And again, I look at this as an opportunity for all of us to collect more information, to make it easier for you. And of course, for us, this is such an important program that is essentially, the best words I could say are under fire, right? In terms of our budget. I don't know what that's going to look like, but everybody wants information. If I can't provide that, the Bureau can't provide that, then we are obviously at a loss and unable to help a lot of people in this industry figure out what to do. So I would like to be able to put that out there. Talk to me afterwards. Let's have a conversation. I'd like to come out and visit some of your centers. I've been meaning to anyway, but maybe now that things have died down for me a little bit, it's been, I've been very busy, that maybe I can come out and speak with some of you, meet some of you, and those of you who I've never met before. Look at your visitor center, learn more about what it's like out there. Every one of you has this really, so many of you have such a different place. When I go to Tiva or if you go to Sunny Isles, you're so different. And I just want to know from a personal standpoint, maybe we can help you in other ways. I mean, maybe there's just an opportunity there that we're missing because we haven't connected. So let's do that. I also want to give a shameless plug for our website. As Ali knows, we've been working very hard to get information out to the industry as a whole, and whatever data that we're collecting, I'm trying to push out a lot of the most relative and up-to-date information right on our website. So under the research and statistics portion of our website, if you go there, you will find lots of information about what's going on in the industry in terms of hotel, air travel, even things like dining. These are things that I'm posting on a regular basis. If you're getting questions from people such as of this nature, you can direct them to our website, and you'll find that there is an absolutely, I think I'm putting out, what I consider to be the most relative information that we can collect, that we can share. And everybody's asking me the question over and over is, when will things get better? When are we going to recover? So that is the purpose really of putting this information out there, so you can get the best information maybe you need it for your own stakeholders, but certainly share that with their visitors as well if they're asking questions about the tourism industry or what's going on in Miami. So, Enid.
Yes, one of the questions that we're constantly being asked is what is open? And it's hard for us to see what is actually open. I know that that changes every day or every few days, but if we had a place where we can see an updated list, this would be great to show the people, the travelers as they're coming in, even tourists. I mean, I don't know if, let's say, Jungle Island, is it open? Is it not open? What museums, things like that. So instead of everyone trying to call various places, if there's one location where we can see what's open now, even through our partners, maybe sending an email to all of our partners and saying, please let us know if you're open.
Yeah, we actually have a really comprehensive list, Enid, which I'm looking here to see if it's been added here. Let's see. Yeah, I have an Excel spreadsheet that I am to send you guys. It's not something that I necessarily want to have posted on our website yet. It's really just an Excel. I was just looking because on last Monday, I actually talked to the team about how important it was to get it up on the website. It would be under the travel guidelines and updates section of our site. But let me go ahead and just, if everyone wants to just stay on the chat for a minute, I'll follow up with an email. I can pull it up somewhere. Yeah, let me send it as a follow-up so I don't keep everyone holding, but we have a team that's been constantly updating it. And then we have a separate one for spas and hotels with all the reopening dates. Again, they're more internal documents, but they're something that could be referred to when people have questions, you know? And then hopefully in the next few days, we'll have something that's more consumer facing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, that's great suggestion. Thank you for the reminder how useful that would be. And then also I'll send a link to that research page. I think I have about 5 people using my Wi-Fi right now, so it's going a little slow, but I'm gonna go ahead and include a link to the research page that Andrew mentioned with the great new dashboards that are very user-friendly, and definitely share that Excel sheet. It's a shared doc, so it gets updated in real time and you'll be able to see updates as they come through us. And we're also actively, proactively researching that information on every few days, double checking whatever's not open yet, when will it open. We just heard Seaquarium is opening, Aquilina is reopening.
Yeah, the Seaquarium is opening on Saturday.
Yeah, so slowly. I'm on a group kind of planning for Jungle Island. I don't think they're gonna open until September, probably, if then, have a whole new look and feel. But I don't see that being ready by September, but they're brainstorming now on what their new plan will be. I think we lost Fernanda, she's trying to come back in. But I think that pretty much concludes the items on my agenda. Did anyone have anything else they wanted to share or commiserate about? Ideas, great things to know, great recipes. As I mentioned, if you can join us tomorrow for when I follow up, I'll also remind you for our Zoom meeting tomorrow, 10 to 11, Coffee and Conversation is with our HCP media partners with the repurposing of the printed vacation planner and visitor's guide. So it'll be a great new tool that'll be available and customizable again by the area of town that you're in. So I think that that'll be really useful and a great resource that I'm glad they came up with some great ideas to share. So that's 10 to 11 tomorrow, and it's all free. It's all free. Anything else, Andrew? I'm looking at my notes. I don't see anything else I wanted to touch on here.
No, from my end is fine. The easiest way to get in touch with me, if you can remember, research@gmcvb.com. That's all you really need. Or call the office, obviously, and just ask for research or me, and you'll get a direct line right to me. So.
Awesome. All right. Well, again, everyone, thanks so much for your time. Andrew, thanks for suggesting we get everyone together. Thanks for all the updates, everyone. If there's anything I can help with to navigate through these times, if you need PPE gear. We've got lots of partners that want to sell it to you at a great price. I'm sure Enid's all of her promotional product partners now sell PPE gear with your logo, right? At first, it was a crazy idea to mess with the logo, but it's actually not so crazy anymore. Tatiana.
Yeah, if we can get that information from her or from you, send that as well. Who's going to be selling the PPE gear? We could. We're getting a couple of requests of people who want to brand their PPE.
Oh, great. Yeah, we'd love to connect them. We also have some of our signage partners that do the laminate that you can wipe, and that, you know, it keeps the microbial plastic that you can put on top of counters that keep germs from, it does, I guess it deflects germs somehow. I'm going to wrap myself in that, and then I should be fine. Get a new body wrap at the spas.
Yeah.
All right. Again, stay safe, everybody. Thanks for all of your time and all your great work. Look forward to connecting with you again soon.
Great. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Nice seeing you all.
No problem.